Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will sting. Every cheating wife thinks she's a master of disguise, but the truth is, her own subtle moves betray her faster than fingerprints at a crime scene. And tonight, I'll expose those FBI-level signs she never thought you'd notice. But before I unlock this vault of secrets, prove you're ready. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and tell me in the comments what city you're watching from. I want to see how many men worldwide are about to wake up to the truth their wives pray they never hear. Move 1. The digital double life. You've been looking in all the wrong places. Most men think cheating reveals itself in lipstick stains or perfume that isn't yours. That's child's play. A modern wife builds her second life inside a device you see every single day, her phone. It's not just about deleting texts anymore. That's sloppy. The truly clever ones archive whole conversations, bury messages in work apps, or rename contacts so Michael from the gym becomes Jessica from HR. You glance at her phone, you see nothing unusual, and you think you're safe. She's already counted on that. Notice the way she treats her phone as though it's radioactive, face down on the table, carried into the bathroom like it's a sacred object, slipped under her pillow at night. That's not protection, it's possession. The glow on her face isn't from you, it's from a late-night notification she can't wait to see. Watch closely at dinner. When a message arrives, her eyes light up before she forces them back to neutral, then drops the line, "Oh, just work." You caught that flash, and it wasn't for you. And here's the gossip. No one says out loud. She isn't just using WhatsApp or Messenger. She's cleverer. She hides exchanges inside harmless apps, a fitness tracker with private chat, a workplace platform like Teams, even Instagram comments coded to look like casual banter but carrying private meaning. Think about it. That gym group chat you saw scrolling past. Buried inside, it could be one name she never wanted you to notice. Psychologically, this works because men search for obvious proof. You scan, see clean chats, and your brain tells you all clear. But no message thread is ever that neat unless it's been scrubbed like a crime scene. And that neatness is her trap. The more spotless her digital world looks, the more likely she's playing a double game. Ask yourself, when did her phone start looking too perfect? When did "forgot my charger" become an emergency she never used to care about? When did she start guarding it like a diary written in fire? Because that's where her other life lives, the one you've been trained not to see. But here's the cruel truth. Her digital tricks are only the beginning. Her body will betray her next, and when it does, you won't mistake the glow. Move 2. The glow she didn't get from you. You've noticed it, haven't you? The sudden sparkle that doesn't make sense. One day she's in sweatpants. The next she's leaving the house in a fitted dress you've never seen before, makeup sharp, perfume heavy. She tells you it's for herself, but deep down you know better. A woman doesn't invest hours in the gym, new lingerie, or a fresh hairstyle just to sit next to you on the couch. That glow isn't coming from your compliments. It's fueled by someone else's attention. Here's where it feels dirty. She buys a bottle of perfume, the expensive kind, but you never smell it at home. She starts sneaking in early morning workouts, though she never cared about cardio before. At the store, she lingers over lingerie she claims is just for confidence, but you never see it under your roof. Ask yourself, who is she really dressing for? Who is she imagining when she checks her reflection twice before leaving the house? The psychology is brutal. When a woman receives fresh validation from an outside source, her whole body responds. Hormones shift, posture changes, even her laughter sounds different. She glows, not because her life improved, but because someone new has stirred that dormant fire inside her. You know that fire. It once burned for you. Now it's been redirected, and you're left with the afterglow, not the spark. Men often mistake this as a midlife reinvention, a harmless phase. Don't fool yourself. If she's glowing up while ignoring your attention, it's not about self-care. It's preparation. She's rehearsing for the way another man's eyes will travel over her, testing out the look she knows he'll notice. The gym membership, the hair appointments, the new wardrobe. You might even be paying for it, but you're not the one benefiting. And here's the most painful gossip detail. She doesn't need to meet him to get high on this glow. She imagines his reaction with every curl, every lipstick swipe, every step on the treadmill. You've been replaced in her fantasy, and that's enough to fuel her transformation. But appearance is just camouflage. The real betrayal shows up in the sound of her voice, in the way she speaks to you, and the irritation that comes from nowhere will cut deeper than any new dress ever could. Move 3. Irritation from nowhere. One day you ask a simple question, "What time will you be home?" Instead of a normal answer, she snaps. Her tone sharpens, her patience thins, and suddenly, you're the bad guy. That shift, sudden irritation over everyday questions, isn't random, it's strategy. A cheating wife often builds a wall of hostility to cover her tracks. The angrier she acts, the less likely you are to keep pressing. Watch the pattern. She used to laugh when you asked about her day. Now she rolls her eyes. You ask if she wants dinner together. She sighs like you've just chained her to a prison wall. The smallest requests, taking out the trash, answering a text, checking in, become fuel for exaggerated arguments. Why? Because arguments buy her freedom. If she storms out claiming you're suffocating her, she has the perfect excuse to vanish for hours. And here's where it turns gossipy. Think of the coworker whose name she slips into conversations too often. She might use him as ammunition. Why can't you be more easygoing, like Mark from work? That comparison is deliberate. It's not about Mark. It's about planting the idea that you're the problem, not her shifting behavior. The cruelty isn't in her words. It's in the psychological warfare of turning your intuition against you. Psychology explains it simply. Guilt breeds aggression. She feels the weight of her secret, so she transfers that burden onto you. If she can make you doubt yourself, make you feel paranoid or controlling, she protects her affair while keeping you silent. It's manipulation at its sharpest edge, turning your questions into crimes. The dangerous part, you start believing it. You tell yourself, maybe I am overreacting. Maybe I should just let things go. That's exactly where she wants you, second-guessing your instincts while she operates unchecked. Pay attention to timing. Do these sudden mood swings happen before she goes out with friends? Do they flare up when she's glued to her phone? Do they vanish once she's alone in another room? Those aren't coincidences, they're cover operations. But irritation is only the mask. The real betrayal comes when she drops the hostility and plays the opposite role, the sweetest, most affectionate partner you've ever seen. And that's when the performance begins. Move 4, the performance act. Suddenly, she's acting like she's discovered a new passion for you. She's touchy, overly affectionate, even theatrical. At first, you feel relieved. Maybe the distance was just a phase. But don't be fooled. When a woman is already invested somewhere else, the affection she gives you often becomes exaggerated. It's not love, it's theater. And you're the unsuspecting audience. Watch for the little tells. Her kisses feel mechanical one day, then suddenly desperate the next. That swing isn't passion, it's guilt management. She knows you've noticed the coldness, so she turns on the heat just long enough to confuse you. She'll hug you tighter, laugh louder, touch you more dramatically, but it all feels rehearsed. Why? Because she's not doing it for connection, she's doing it for cover. Here's the gossip no one likes to admit. During intimacy, her mind might be elsewhere. Eyes shut tight, head turned to the side, scrunched face like she's concentrating. Those are signs she's building a fantasy in her head. Maybe it's the coworker who texts her, "Good morning." Maybe it's the gym acquaintance who lingers too long at the water fountain. Whoever it is, her body is with you, but her imagination is already gone. Psychologically, this is called overcompensation. When guilt grows heavy, she hides it with exaggerated gestures of devotion. But the performance is shallow. Real passion is unpredictable. Sometimes fiery, sometimes quiet, but always authentic. Performance is scripted. Same sounds, same timing, same dramatic flourishes every single time. And here's the cruelest twist. The better she acts, the more doubt she plants in your mind. You think, she's being so affectionate, maybe I was wrong. That's the point. She's weaponizing affection, turning it into camouflage, so you lower your guard. Ask yourself, do her touches feel like connection or like distraction? Does her sudden, extra sweetness follow a fight, a late night out, or a suspicious phone buzz? If the timing feels too perfect, it isn't random. It's rehearsed damage control. But even the best performance can't last forever. Because when the curtain falls and the small talk replaces intimacy, you'll feel the hollow silence creeping in. And that silence, the emotional withdrawal, is where the real heartbreak begins. Move 5. Emotional withdrawal. At first, it sneaks in quietly. She used to tell you everything, her frustrations at work, the silly drama with her friends, even the little details about her day. Now, conversations shrink down to surface-level scraps. It was fine. Nothing much happened. I'm tired. What you're witnessing isn't random disinterest. It's a redirection. The emotional intimacy that once belonged to you has been handed off to someone else. This is one of the most devastating moves because it leaves you starving for connection while she feeds it elsewhere. Picture this. She spends hours laughing on her phone in the other room, then comes back to you with nothing left to say. Or she suddenly has new inside jokes with people you've never met, jokes you're not invited into. That private smile you used to crave, it's already been spent before you even see her face. Here's the dirty part, the kind of gossip people whisper about. She's not only sharing her secrets with him, she's rehearsing her future. That coworker she vents to knows more about her fears and goals than you do. The friend she messages late at night hears her rawest feelings while you get the leftovers. Bill reminders, calendar updates, grocery lists. He gets her soul, you get the scraps. The psychology is brutal but simple. Emotional intimacy is finite. A person can only pour deeply into one connection at a time. When she invests her energy in someone else, your relationship becomes functional, not alive. That's why you feel like roommates instead of partners. It's not your imagination. It's the byproduct of her emotional cheating. Pay attention to her language. Does she dodge questions about her feelings? Does she suddenly guard her thoughts as though sharing them with you is a burden? That wall isn't built for privacy. It's built to protect the other man's place in her emotional world. And notice the timing. When she starts pulling away emotionally, other shifts always follow. Longer nights out, less patience with you, more vague excuses. Withdrawal is rarely the final act. It's the setup for a bigger play. But the cruelest part, when you ask her what's wrong, she shrugs, says, "I'm fine," and turns the blame on you for pushing too hard. The reality is, she's already confiding in someone else, and that emotional bond is the seed of betrayal. Yet silence is not her strongest disguise. Her most practiced move is lying with a straight face, and the innocent-sounding alibis she delivers next are sharper than any dagger. Move 6. Innocent lies and alibis. She doesn't come home and announce betrayal. No, she weaves it into ordinary sentences, the kind that sound so reasonable you almost feel guilty for doubting them. Work ran late. It was just a girls' night. I forgot to text back. On the surface, they're harmless, but underneath, they're calculated cover stories designed to give her freedom without triggering your suspicion. Think about the timing. That sudden project at the office that keeps her there until 10 p.m. Odd how she never had those late nights before. The book club that meets twice a week but never seems to produce an actual book. Even stranger, how you've never been invited to meet these so-called friends. These aren't slip-ups. They're rehearsed lines. Lines she's used more than once because they work. Here's the gossip men rarely share, but everyone whispers. She has an alibi friend. That one woman she uses as a shield, the one she insists she's always with. Maybe it's her college bestie. Maybe it's the coworker you've only met once. Every time she drops that name, she's cashing in on credibility. And most husbands nod along, relieved to hear a familiar cover. Meanwhile, the truth is happening somewhere else entirely. Psychologically, these lies hit hard because they're plausible. She mixes real obligations with fabricated ones, stretching truth just enough that you don't challenge it. A genuine late meeting here, an actual family errand there. Soon the fake reasons blend seamlessly with the real. That's how she trains you not to notice the difference. But here's the twist. When you question her, she flips the script. You ask why she didn't answer your call, and she laughs. You're overthinking again. You bring up the vague schedule, and she says you're too controlling. Suddenly, you're the paranoid husband doubting a perfectly innocent woman. That manipulation is part of the alibi. It doesn't just cover her absence, it punishes you for noticing it. Watch for patterns. If her busy periods always line up with the same nights, if her excuses lack detail, if her energy after these outings doesn't match the story she told, that's not coincidence. That's choreography. She's writing a script, and you're expected to play the blindfolded husband in her drama. But lies, no matter how soft they sound, can't hide the truth forever. Because when you start trusting your gut, you'll see her sharpest weapon isn't the alibi. It's the way she makes you doubt your very instincts. And that final move is psychological warfare. Move 7, gaslighting and redirection. She doesn't just hide the truth, she twists your reality until you're afraid of your own thoughts. This is where the game turns cruel. When you question her strange hours, her secretive phone, or her sudden coldness, she doesn't defend herself. She attacks you. Why are you so paranoid? Can't I have male friends without you freaking out? You're imagining things. These aren't answers. They're weapons. Gaslighting works because it strikes at your deepest instinct, the gut feeling that something isn't right. Instead of easing your concern, she invalidates it. Each time she dismisses your questions, you start doubting yourself a little more. Was that late-night text suspicious? Or am I being insecure? Did she really smile at her phone like that, or did I exaggerate it in my head? That fog of doubt is exactly what she wants. Here's the gossip-level detail. She may even compare you to other men in the process. Michael at work never gets jealous like this. David would never accuse me of lying. Every comparison is a dagger, sharpening your insecurities while elevating the very men who occupy her thoughts. She's not just deflecting suspicion, she's rewriting the narrative so you're the problem, not her behavior. The psychology is brutal. When you begin to question your own perception of reality, she wins twice. She hides the affair and makes you police yourself. You hesitate to ask questions, afraid she'll explode or mock you. You silence your own instincts while she continues her double life. That's not just lying, that's psychological domination. Pay attention to her reactions. A woman with nothing to hide answers calmly. A woman caught in deception lashes out, ridicules, or guilt trips you. If every conversation about her behavior ends with you apologizing, you're not wrong. You're being manipulated. And here's the ugliest truth. Once she trains you to ignore your gut, she doesn't need to hide much anymore. She can leave her phone buzzing on the counter, and you'll talk yourself out of noticing. She can disappear for hours, and you'll swallow your doubts because you've been conditioned to believe you're the paranoid one. That's the ultimate victory of gaslighting. You stop trusting yourself. But remember this, her tricks only work as long as you stay silent, because the moment you start naming what you see, the illusion collapses. See you in the next video.